She got her internets back. So disappointed last week. How's everybody doing? If you made it in already, say hello. Hello. What are you smoking on today?
As shitty as it was that we had to. She did not.
What? Uh-oh. Something's going on in weed world. Hold on.
I think it's maybe just labeled wrong, but this is supposed to be diesel, New York diesel, and it's labeled Tangy Haze.
You.
But it smells like the.
Well, your nose knows. What's up? How are you doing today? Are you all dried off? How's Florida? What's up next? How's everybody doing today? I guess we'll start the show with actually our disclaimer, which I will tell you in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, what I was saying before, I was like, what is going on? Is that as crappy as it was that we had to cancel Wednesday, like, I really needed it. I needed it to catch up on shit. I needed a minute. It really helped me to... because I got other things done now.
Right. I mean, yeah, other things got done. I didn't get shit done. My internet did not. Anyways, we'll first things first. It's about that time. In a minute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. You're about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet Potcast with CannaQueen MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their subsidiaries, their guests. If you aren't sure, don't worry. We'll tell you, or our faces will. It's time to get this session started. Thanks for rolling up and showing up, and enjoy the show. Oh, Schnooks is here. What's up, Schnooks?
What up, Schnooks?
Glad to hear that, Little Bobby Customs, that everybody's all dried off and everybody's good in your neck of the woods. We appreciate you being here. We love you guys. So yeah, my internet was out again on Wednesday. It was the second time in a week. It had been out on Tuesday, the week before, and I got behind on that day too because a lot of what I do is on the damn internet.
I hate that they don't give you a reason, like, hey, a power line was cut, or you got
there was one time
in your area, or like
there was one time we got that notification, and I think it was on Tuesday, but they didn't tell us that they were going to have it out on Wednesday. I'm assuming that they were doing further repairs for what had happened a week ago, but I don't know that for sure. And yeah, it was like like a whole day. It wasn't even like a few hours. It was like the whole damn day. And I know why. I get listen, I get why you choose to do it at that time of day, but let's be real. Okay. It is 2022. And what's up, Lisa? And a lot of people work from home now because of the stupid COVIDs. A lot of people haven't changed back from that way of life. Why are you cutting my damn internet out in the middle of the damn day?
Why are you getting worse? Why is it getting worse? And I get the whole 5G and everyone's got to catch up and that kind of bullshit, but it's still annoying as fuck.
So annoying. So yeah, that's my short little rant about that. I hate it. I hate it because I have so much to do in a day. We worked our butts off today. We had a lot of shit to do.
After you got stuck at the DMV because their system was broken. How about that?
The DMV. Yeah. So talk about technical difficulties. So I went to renew my license and then we got that done. That part was fine. But my vehicle registration was a little bit overdue. It was due on the 30th. So today's the 3rd, which is the first business day after the expiration or whatever. So we're in there. She's like, our systems are down. And I was like, for how long? She's like, we don't know.
I know, and customer service does not apply at a
I will say this DMV had pretty decent customer service. They were very helpful, actually. And then we finally, it was probably, I would say 45 minutes to an hour before they got their systems back up and running. It is expensive, y'all, to live in Colorado. I do not recommend it. I do not recommend this. Registration was over $700. It was almost $800 for this registration.
Your renewal won't be that much, right?
Yeah, I hope not. But still, I think renewals are still like fucking still hell of expensive out here. But it is. I am not surprised. Listen, I am not surprised at how many expired temp tags there are out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not, because who can afford that?
Yeah. That's almost why, I mean, I think, some car places, they're like tax tag and title included. They use it as part of the wheeling and dealing, because of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is that now you can't even talk these guys down. So I went to two different dealerships. I kind of talked the second guy down a little bit, but they're really, they're on their price, like they're on it. And then like the first place was like, we don't haggle. We offer you the lowest price. That's the lowest price we can go. And they don't care how long I've been selling cars here. They'll fire me if I try to offer you a lower price than this. I'm like, what the fuck? So,
right.
But I'll tell you this, that guy that said that to us, we did not buy a car from him. Do you know he still calls my husband and checks in every once in a while?
You're like, we already bought a car, man.
No, he knows.
Oh.
He knows. He knows. He still calls every once in a while, says, hey, man, how's things going? How's that 4Runner treating you? And like, yeah. Now, our salesperson that sold us the car, I mean, it was a struggle to get some fucking floor mats. I'm not going to lie. We probably should have gone with the first guy, but we got a good deal and we got, what I wanted. So it's fine. But yeah, it's a fucking, you can't even haggle them down anymore. Company policy.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then the way that car sales go, everyone falls in line. So eventually it's only with those, small dealerships. And, but even the dealership I went to, they're like, nope, that's it. Not doing anything. We don't do anything. Nope. No,
haggling here. This is the price.
Yeah. And they were basically, and when I was trying to buy my car, it was when they were, I mean, it still is, the market's shit for used cars. And
they don't give a fuck either. We went in between. Listen, in between, we went to see the one guy at the one dealership. And I was like, let me look at, because I was considering, I really loved my Xterra. So I was considering Xterra. I thought that they had started making them again, but I think they're starting making them again this year, next year, something like that. But anyways, the last one that was made was 2015. So I kind of noped out of that pretty quickly. But when we went to the Nissan dealership, they did not give a fuck that we were there. They gave no fucks, and it was empty. Empty. They gave no fucks that we were there. They were like,
and you're in a dealership, right? You weren't, it's not like you were at some, I mean, I definitely.
Yeah. I was at a dealership. They gave no fucks that I was there. They didn't tell us to get out, but that was the vibe. That was the vibe. They didn't want to help us.
Right. Because I definitely went to just a small dealership. Locally owned, whatever. And definitely had to go inside and be like, hey, someone want to show me a car?
Yeah.
And they're like, which one do you want to look at? And I'm like, I'd like tell them which one.
I'd like to spend some money here.
And they're like, And then, you would think that they would trying to sell a car clean. No, this car that they pulled up, it looked like it had just come back off the lot and they did not clean it. The inside was not clean. I was like, no. My sister and Emily got into the car because they were going to test drive it. We didn't even drive it off the lot. I was kind of like fiddling around with everything, and she's looking and I'm looking, and we were like,
no,
you can drive this. We're good.
Fuck not. Yeah.
And we went ahead and got out of that and left. We were like, thanks. But yeah, so fun stuff, dealerships and registrations.
No, not at all. Don't become,
not at all.
And listen, if you can avoid being an adult, just don't do it. I don't
do it. I don't recommend it.
1 star.
If you can move to a place where there is lovely public transportation and utilize it well, good for you, because cars suck.
This joint ain't staying lit.
Not staying lit. What are you smoking on today? I'm sorry.
Smoking on a cherry punch today. I want to ask, and I want people to be a little bit relieved, but don't be fully relieved. But the retrograde is over for Mercury. There's like 6 other ones or 5 other ones, but for Mercury, it's over. And I hope that it treats you well. For me, it treated me really well. I feel like I got in a couple of spats, but I said at the beginning I was going to lean into everything. So I was like, I'm going to lean in. We could just be mad at each other until the first week of October. I don't give a fuck. Like I really came in like that. And those conversations though turned into, like, they did start out a little rocky, a couple of those conversations with a couple of people. But they started out rocky and turned into valuable conversations where we were all like kind of learned something or came together on something or whatever. And so I really did not worry through the Mercury retrograde. I did not. I was like, let's just see what happens.
It was rough for you, Lisa. Sorry.
She said, no, ma'am, we're not leaning into none of this bullshit. I think because I've had so many rough times during those periods where there's like planet alignment and adjustments and stuff, I think, and also I'm a Pisces, so I don't even feel like it really affected my world too much. But when I heard the word retrograde, I'm going to do this every time from now on, so y'all just be prepared for that. But when I heard the word retrograde, I was like, I'm leaning in. I'm not even going to fucking resist this shit at all. I'm not resisting it at all. And I didn't. I feel like I stayed true to that. So congratulations to everybody that made it out and kept everything and all your friendships and relationships and shit intact.
Unscathed or at least a little wiser for it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like sometimes how the conversations get started aren't, you gotta, it's not how they're gonna get ended.
Said no,
hey girl.
ma'am. Hey girl, hey. Yeah, and I was just like, fuck. Like I know, like there was a couple times where I was like, I knew it was like a retrograde kind of argument, you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you, I would call you like on Marco Polo, and oh no, that is rough. I would Marco Polo you and be like, let me tell you what this man just said to me. And then I would be like, retrograde. It's fine. It's fine.
I got to hear I got to hear people's retrograde like freakouts.
This thing will not stay lit for me today. What about you? How did you feel about it?
I feel like the only was our Marco where I was like, I had to take a second and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We got into one, and then I was like, you know what? Let's not do this today. And we both had to come back to the table and apologize. And but we're better for it.
We still had to talk for work, so that was the thing. It's like we still have to communicate, and that was one of the things that I was like, we still have to communicate. We just knew being on Marco or face to face wasn't going to be the right time then.
Exactly. And I was like, we're about to say some shit. I said both of us, we were both standing on the edge of saying the thing that the other one would be like, and like blow the whole thing up. And then I went to the eye doctor because my eye has been bothering me. There's nothing like, I feel like one of them porcelain dolls with the broken eyes. This eye feels very heavy, even though it is really in reality the same size as it has always been. I feel like it's smaller. and also heavier. And so I went to the eye doctor. There's nothing wrong with my eyes, by the way, but I'm telling you right now, it is a struggle. I want to go close my eyes. Just this one.
That's why I don't think it's an eyeball thing. I think it's a nerve thing.
Yeah, maybe. So I might have to anyways. So I fucking walk out of the eye doctor and I go sit in my car and I'm like, I've Marco Polo. It's a Marco Polo, for y'all that don't know, it's like a walkie-talkie but video situation. Anyways, it's a video app, so you just talk back and forth on it. You can watch it in real time or you could wait till later, watch it. Anyways, it doesn't fucking matter. If you want to go try it, go try it. Marco Polo. Anyways, free advertising. They should give me like a free month of that shit. Anyway, so I get outside and I Marco Polo her and I go, we cannot argue right now because my optometrist is hot. And I have to tell you about it.
I don't care if you're mad at me right now.
I don't care. I care not about how you feel about me right now. Let me tell you about this man I just saw. And then after that, it was fine. After that, it was fine.
It was a good icebreaker to acknowledge that, like, I'm a dick, because I did go back and listen. I was like, all right, I'm a dick.
I love you though, and I do the same shit, and I know I come off really raw, especially. So here's what happens is especially if you're somebody close to me, what happens is I just come to you with my bullshit. So like I just came to her with my bullshit. I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like the way it works. I don't like the way I was just like, I don't like it. I will listen and try to figure it out, but I don't like it. Like that's but I came like that. But also it was her idea to use it. So I could, like, looking back, I would be like, well, of course she's upset. I just told her to take her idea and shove it. Like I just but I didn't say that. And I wasn't mad at her or anything. I was just frustrated trying to use this thing. And she did show me how to use it. And it turns out I really do not know what the fuck is going on. So I'm going to use the thing that it feeds into to make my notes. And she's going to use the thing that creates the thing that it feeds into to make her notes. It's fine. And it all is going to work out. But it was just like, I came in right raw. Like, you know,
it was the first message I heard. I was like,
yeah, like,
cool.
And sometimes I forget to say good morning. I try to remember to say good morning before I fucking vomit my problems. But like, sometimes I forget to say good morning. And that particular day, I was like really raw. I was like having all kinds of shit. Like, and I was feeling very overwhelmed, and I had other shit going on, and there's like just this pile, and then there was this app sitting in front of me, and I was like, she said it was easy to use, and I can't fucking figure it out. I was like fucking mad at it. I was so mad at it. So anyways, but yeah, we got through it, and that was retrograde argument right there, because there's like, why? Fucking, you know, like why? So, but also the optometrist was hot. And he kept telling me how perfect my eyes were. And that made him hotter. And that's true. Holla at the eye doctor in Castle Rock.
In Castle Rock.
Oh, yeah.
I know. So, I couldn't see my regular doc. And so I went to the Costco doc over here.
Yeah.
And whew, yeah. I was like, we had, it was still a mask time.
Oh yeah,
it's still a time of masking. But you know, you can tell someone when someone's, you know.
Exactly. Well, there were no masks on.
Yeah,
and he was very beautiful, and it was easy to go. I mean, he's an eye doctor. I was so happy I could see.
Oh, girl.
So, what's next?
What's next? Well, I was looking I was just looking at my link for National Hispanic Heritage Month, and but I was reading the article, and so we can definitely circle back around to that, or we can, you know.
Let's knock that one out of the park, and then we'll do a quick commercial break, and then we will cover headlines, and then get into today's topic.
Cool.
There's a couple headlines that we got to stop and take a breath for, because the scheduling, we're going to talk about the schedule. Anyways, okay, go ahead. Oh, do we have that article that we just got on the list?
I need to add it.
The inhalation article?
Space. Yeah, I can actually move it real quick while we're, if you want to give me just a second, because I moved it to our Facebook page and I have it open.
So let's do the Hispanic Heritage. I'll break for commercial, and then we'll go into those headlines. But I want to talk about that and the amendment, or not the amendment, but the scheduling thing.
Okay,
cool. For sure.
Cool. So today I want to feature Selena. Y'all know Selena. Selena Quintanilla.
Somebody can correct that if they need to.
Yes. And she began, singing in the family band, but really she skyrocketed with her first album in 1989. And so Tejano music is what she was specializing in and she had 7 albums that hit #1 for Latin songs, and she won a Grammy in 1993. She had spectacular outfits. If you also follow Josue, our cake designer, he did a fabulous Selena cake.
I love him, and I love that.
Unfortunately, she was killed in 1995 by the president of her fan club. And so April 16th is her birthday, and George W. Bush, at the time when he was the governor of Texas, declared Selena Day.
Yeah, because she is very popular. Actually, you reading that made me think we should have correspondents that come on and help us out with these, because I have a friend who is like a die-hard Selena fan. She could have come on and given us a whole 10-minute history. We could have just got a quick 10-minute history on Selena. And she could have done it off the top of her head. She could have told you the whole, and maybe if anybody's interested in doing correspondence for things like this, then let us know. It's not a paying job, and we'll probably do it maybe once a week, or maybe once every other week or something like that. But anyways,
if you have a factoid you want to share with the world that I love reading, and I post them on my own page. It's just little biographies or history things that I enjoy.
And you can come on and do a little background history on almost anybody who's not a straight white man. Sometimes we'll let one of those squeak by, but really we want to promote the history of other people, because we know straight white men exist, and we know that they've done amazing things, and we know that they've invented amazing things, and some of those things they kind of stole, but and said that they invented them when they didn't invent them, but it's fine, and we acknowledge all of those things. We want to acknowledge the other people that made a huge dent in history and are the reasons why, we get to experience certain things. And as far as Selena is concerned, she was she rose to fame so quickly. She was like royalty, honestly, and she was betrayed by somebody that she trusted, and so fuck that bitch. She who shall not be named.
She who shall not be named. But yeah, that's so I'm gonna post I've already posted the SpanishMama.com article on our page that has all of the featured Hispanic Heritage Month people that we've been reviewing. Excuse me. And but I'm gonna specifically post her biography, and y'all can go check it out on our Facebook page, Cannabis Closet.
Yeah, a lot of people use Selena's influence in their own music too. So yeah, she was amazing. We wish we had more time with her. It's a sad thing that happened.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was like national news.
It was crazy. So she
crazy.
has 2 Grammys, 67 Tejano Music Awards, 14 Latin Billboard Awards, 10 Lo Nuestro Awards, and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Did she get that posthumous, whatever, how do you say that word?
Posthumously? Yes.
Humously?
I'm not sure. It does not say in this particular.
Who did they just give a star to? Was it? I can't remember now. It was a 1970s singer, maybe. Mama Cass? Maybe. I don't know. Anyways. Commercial break. Hello, you guys. My name is CannaQueen from the
MJ.
From the Cannabis Closet Podcast. We work together on in a company called CQ LLC. CQ LLC is Cannabis Compliance and Education. For those of you in Colorado, we are certified in responsible vendor training. And for those of you outside of Colorado, we are educators in the industry, have been for over 7 years, and are familiar with compliance. We're familiar with how to read the laws and how those laws are basically going to be enforced in most cases, just because we've seen it before a million times. So give us a call, 970-426-5985. Those of you in Colorado, give us a call, because some of y'all do need some compliance training. I've been seeing the MUD bouncing some of y'all for some really weird and very minor compliance issues. So give us a call. If you don't want to hire a compliance officer, which you should, that's fine. You can hire us and we'll help you keep track of your compliance. So 970-426-5985. And this show, as always, is brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzers. Queen Kitty Seltzer, solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. I do that just for necks, just so y'all know. Tastes like water. It really does. It's low CBD. It's no sugar, no sweeteners. No vegans were harmed in the process of creating our seltzer. And we are working. It's not even time yet. Oh, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when your friends don't know your podcast schedule, even though you've told them a million times what your podcast schedule is. Queen Kitty Seltzer tastes like water. We are about to infiltrate Denver, and after Denver, the world. We're working on Florida actually right now too, at the same time as Denver. So, you'll start seeing us pop up real soon. Queen Kitty Seltzer, solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer. We're working on merchandise, so we'll have that to you guys soon, and a website as well. Also, and now, let me take that banner down, because we got to talk about some serious stuff. Let's go. Let's talk about serious stuff. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
That's okay. Which one do we want to do first?
Let's talk about the this keef lung.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Those of you working in the cannabis industry, especially hands-on and in the industrial spaces, listen up. This is a real serious story. Do you want to go, or you want me to go?
Go ahead. I'm going to try and pull the article up from the...
Okay. I got to pull it up too, so.
Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is when you read that headline, I think that was the most I mean, we both were like, what the fuck? And then
Yeah.
you read the headline and you like cut out and I was like, what the fuck?
So I haven't read some of the comments here, but we're going to as we go through, and we'll try to keep this, relatively short-ish, but this is pretty important. So this is I was sent this from a Reddit post, and this Reddit post is based on an OSHA finding. So it's from OSHA.gov. Trulieve has caused the first ever cannabis death. Keep lung particles settling in the lungs of a poor worker caused their untimely death, is the headline. That's the headline. So she worked at Trulieve. I believe it was a woman, a young woman. The following inspection has not been indicated as closed. Be aware that the information shown may change, i.e. violations may be added or deleted. For open cases in which a citation has been issued, the citation information may not be available for 5 days following the receipt by the employer for federal inspections, or for 30 days following a receipt by an employer for state inspection. So apparently this happened at Trulieve. The penalty is serious. It's a $35,000 fine right now. So I feel like there's going to be more if this once this is investigated fully and all of the facts come out. There's going to be a lawsuit for sure. So let me just pull my phone down real quick. Employee is killed when couldn't breathe after inhaling. So this is the summary of it. Filling pre-rolls, she said she couldn't breathe. Not being able to breathe marijuana keef, the dust, which is all over the place in industrial spaces. At 11 p.m. on January 7th, 2022, an employee was grinding cannabis flowers and packaging ground cannabis in pre-rolls. The employee could not breathe and was killed due to the hazardous ground cannabis dust. Now, this is still being investigated. Did this person have a pre-existing condition, et cetera, et cetera? Those things are going to be necessary findings, but this is an OSHA investigation and it's a fatality. So it's going to be taken really seriously. And some guidelines are going to start being put into place into these spaces. I imagine that when you work in these spaces from now on, that you're going to have to wear some kind of filtering mask in the workspace in order to work in those spaces to start. That's just a start. What do you think? What are you thinking?
It makes you think about like a kind of like restaurant hoods in terms of the ventilators that pull the cooking smoke out of the area so that you can maintain breathing and circulation and whatnot. And I don't know, I was just looking up the mesothelioma and how this this commenter compared it to that.
Yes.
And it's an interesting, and I'm like, okay, so, and they kind of even went in more into about, he says, only after I brought up mesothelioma concerns and brought in data about poor air quality from particulate matter in flour mills was I finally issued a respirator. This is someone else who had worked in the industry and did not have or felt that there was not adequate filtering of the air and movement. So and that's one person having to literally bring research and evidence to get something to make their job possible. And that's what we're talking about in this industry. This is still a new industry. We're still working around all these things, and or this is recognizing things like this, who think usually it's, I don't know, I guess because as a small, I've only worked in a small single, where the manager on duty rolled the joints that day, and there wasn't particulate matter flying around all the time for a lengthy period of time, 24/7, you know, but now we're talking about, you know, literal, you know, rolling production lines where that's all, you know, you're doing. And so it's
there's apparently a podcast that her dad was on too. I'll investigate that a little bit further, and we'll bring you more on this story as things develop. But here's the thing is that people are going to question this story on two sides. I already see some of the commentary here. There's going to be one side that says, well, if it's dangerous to inhale the dust and the particles, then what about smoking and vaping it, right? And then there's the other side that's going to say, but it's cannabis, so it couldn't have been the thing that killed her, right? And here's the thing is that dust particles react differently when you breathe them into your lungs. Some people do have allergies to cannabis on top of that, so that could really affect
a plant. It's still a plant. It still has pollen. It's still people are allergic to it in that sense. But it doesn't mean that it can't benefit their endocannabinoid system. It just means that the flower and the pollen and the, you know, can trigger an allergic allergy.
Well, you're not supposed to snort it.
Yeah.
For starters. And the way that small particles and dust cake onto your lungs, it's just a different thing. And so can you I don't know if you have this pulled up. Can you read the definition of mesothelioma?
Yes. Hold on. Facts. Mesothelioma, is a this is malignant mesothelioma, right?
I don't, I just.
Yes, okay. Yeah, sorry, you're like, I don't know. It is a cancer. It is a type of cancer that occurs in the thin layers of tissue that covers the majority of your internal organs. Things to know.
You can get it from breathing in hazardous.
It can be caused by asbestos exposure. Tumors form in the linings of the lungs, abdomen, or heart. It doesn't say. Let's see. We're going to go to the wiki. I know there's more, government, cancer.gov and stuff, but we're going to go to the condensed version of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Which is same type of cancer on the thin layers of tissues. Signs and symptoms are shortness of breath due to fluid around the lungs, a swollen abdomen. So it comes typically come on slowly. The symptoms come on slowly.
This isn't like a one day of working situation. This is a daily working in that environment situation.
Working in asbestos or being around asbestos. I mean, that's their main, kind of talking here. I'm not sure what the, again, commenter mentioned something about, probably a different OSHA, type.
Right.
Flower
I want people to be aware, because some of you might end up working in these facilities. You need to make sure you have proper personal protective equipment, PPE, for the job that you're doing. If you request a mask in a dusty situation, they should provide a mask with a filter on it for you to use to do your job. You shouldn't have to pay for those things. Those things should be provided to you. Are they going to provide the best option for you? Probably not. If you wanted something that was like super heavy duty, you would have to probably buy that yourself, but they have to provide something that has like the filtration system on it, even if it's the cheapest option. And I think that when they're researching this case, if the findings stay that this was the cause of death, that those things are going to be required in the workplace.
I think there's even, honestly, I think at one point I was getting emails about being able to get free N95s through, and so it doesn't, it doesn't hurt if you're in this industry to be protecting yourself, especially if you're
They
working
ran
in
out of
large
those for
groups.
COVID.
Yeah. And exactly. And but also, if it's supposed to be for COVID, but take advantage of them. And if you are working in a facility where you don't feel like they're, one, start speaking up and talking to your managers about it. And two,
Do that respectfully.
yes,
And like,
respectfully.
you know,
Be like, hey, heard about this this being an issue. Can especially again, ventilation is key, and the movement of air. And that's what one of the things is, that if there's not good ventilation and filtering, then that's what you are essentially, you are breathing it in more heavily than if it's not being sucked away, and the light, you're still probably it is still getting some particles to you, but not nearly if they are
guys,
condensed so much.
Fans are not it. Okay.
Fan does not, no.
Are not it.
Talking
Stop
about sucking the air.
circulating that shit and get a filtration system and get your employees some masks. And if you do need to have a conversation with your boss, maybe pull them aside to have that conversation. But there's nothing wrong with having that conversation. Just, sometimes people have egos, is all I'm saying. A lot of times. What's this? What is it? Schedule 6. What is this?
It's an advertisement. It's an advertisement, honestly. Like, when you really look at when you click on the link, because I did go click on the link and started reading about it. But it is paid and sponsored for by blah 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 group, and it is this is someone's proposal of where they think that instead of we talk about descheduling and taking cannabis off of the scheduled drug list. This one is talking about creating a separate schedule for cannabis. Oh wait, it is a marijuana, aka cannabis.
Oh
is that
my
what you
God, I lit on fire. You guys know how much I hate misuse of language in this space. And like, if you're gonna propose something like this, how about you don't put the AKA before AKA? Because the actual word for this is cannabis and the AKA is marijuana, not the other way around. You guys, I know it seems minor, but like, that language matters.
It matters. It matters, especially when they're trying to say that it's different, and it's only different if it's criminal. Well, no, this shouldn't be criminal at all. So it's not different. It's like, they're literally defining it and separating this plant and criminalizing and decriminalizing it by a word.
So this isn't a real thing, but they are trying to fund this idea of having a new schedule for legal states to utilize and be able to conduct business, do their taxes appropriately and properly, do banking, and then also save the citizens of the state from, which most laws have that kind of built into the law, is that, the federal government will kind of leave us alone as long as we, abide by the rules. And for the most part, okay, it's a white dude. Sorry, I just clicked over to the about. Listen, I'm not opposed to some kind of change, and we definitely need all those things, but why not just pass the Safe Banking Act, so that we can do things appropriately? We already pay federal taxes. This proposal would allow us to write things off and shit like that. But again, some of the laws are building that into their laws as well. It's just, I don't know. It's silly to me. Why don't we just deschedule it, take it off the schedule completely? Why are we creating a whole new schedule for something that we know is, like, for the most part, relatively harmless? Apparently not if you breathe it in all day, but, we're still learning about it. Yes. But like, as far as proper use.
Yeah, that's manufacturing and processing.
Right. Right.
It's a different.
Yeah. Well, they always said that the way that they would kill us with marijuana is by piling tons of it on top of us, which is essentially what happened to this young lady's lungs, unfortunately, is that all of these small particles, is like thousands of pounds of pressure on the lungs. It makes it impossible to breathe. It's difficult for it to break down and break apart as quickly as it needs to in order to get lung function back. I could see where this would be a problem. But generally speaking, we've shown that cannabis usage at appropriate usage has caused more harm than not and is relatively safe for use for a majority of people. Not everything is safe for everybody. Y'all know there are people who have water allergies, which is weird to me. I can't even get my head around that. But I don't know.
It's the weirdest. Like, and that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah,
It's strange.
It's like, how do you
survive? You need water to survive.
And doesn't everything have a
including you.
I know. I'm like, how are you allergic to yourself? I mean, literally, how are you alive? Or how I don't understand.
If you know somebody has a water allergy, we need to know more. Send them our way. It would be a great Monday show.
And this for serious, not those that
I'm not even
drink
joking.
water, because this, like, but for reals, like, I have heard of this literal water allergy where your body is literally working against itself, like literally.
I don't even think you're supposed to be here today. That's all I'm saying. There's a little joke from Clark's, y'all. Holla. Anyways, okay. Schedule 6 sounds silly to me, but again, we'll follow and see what happens with it. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you guys have any thoughts about that, throw them in the comments. It sounds silly to me. Let's talk about legalization.
I know. And next up.
Next subject.
So we have 5 states that have some kind of legalization, adult use legalization initiative on
the ballot.
Their ballot. Just
to be clear, you guys, those aren't the only 5 states talking about legalization. Several states across the United States are talking about legalization right now. But a lot of those are legislative conversations. So they're not going to be on the ballot. They're not going to be a voter initiative. It's going to be legislation deciding whether or not to legalize in those states. And we can cover those as well on another show. But today and on Wednesday, we're going to be covering the states that are going to have this on the ballot.
In November 8th is election day, y'all.
November 8th.
Be ready. That's only a month away. Be ready for the onslaught of information.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to talk about Arkansas and Maryland. And we only chose 2 because it's a Monday show. And also I have things to say about one of them. So I'm going to start actually with Maryland because I don't have as much to say about Maryland.
Let's do Maryland first.
It's a pretty basic standard. It doesn't have everything we want in it, but it has some good stuff in it. It is called Question 4 for those of you in Maryland. I would highly recommend you look it up and read as much as you can about it. It's going to be in the news a lot. So read also, because here I'm gonna read what they wrote about these things. But I'm going to point out something very crazy about one of these little blurbs is something that's severely left out. But for Maryland, it's a state constitutional amendment, which all of these are going to be. It's going to be on the ballot to legalize recreational use of marijuana. The measure is called Question 4. Normal is advocating behind that. I am a scale when it comes to Normal. Sometimes I agree with them and sometimes I do not. So you just have to figure it out.
You have to do the same. You have to do your research and decide how you feel about
what they're supporting. Don't just put your blind support behind something because Normal supports it. I realize that they advocate and have been advocating for cannabis reform since the 70s, and the people that formed that group since before then. But also normal, it is somewhat a political game. And also they are advocating for legalization, and sometimes legalization no matter what. And so sometimes we agree with them and sometimes we do not. The question is super simple on the ballot. Is, do you favor legalization of the use of cannabis by an individual who is at least 21 years of age on or after July 1st, 2023 in the state of Maryland? If they vote yes, lawmakers have already approved House Bill 837. It has a set of rules and measures that are pretty standard as far as cannabis legalization goes. I didn't get into expungement and all of those issues when I was looking at that, but everything looks kind of on par. It does say in this article, it defines marijuana possession limits and aids the automatic review and expungement of past criminal records, which I believe we've talked about this before. It didn't pass last time. And I think they have more support this time. So hopefully they pass. The rules look pretty basic and simple as far as Maryland is concerned. I didn't see anything weird.
I did not read it because I was listening to you talk about them and read it. I think that, just like we're going to talk about and go more into the one above, is that you want to make sure that you know what's going on and how it affects your community, and really advocate for your people and your jobs around there as this grows and as it that's the next. It's like, okay, great. Well, if we're approving this and we're going through, then now, make sure you're a part of building those infrastructures and, having, putting your input in. We are, as long as, even though it's been around forever, this is still a new industry and we still have a say so. And we're the ones working it. We're the ones doing it. We should have a say so and be heard. So, I'd like that, again, it says automatic review. In some states, it's straight telling you, you have to jump through hoops to, even get considered for expungement. So again, words matter. Expungement, great. That's a lovely word. But it's the actions behind them that are concerning when it's coming down to the real details. So,
and well, it's an argument that we've had recently. We're not going to get into Missouri today. We're actually working on doing an Amendment 3 debate because we do have a lot of followers from Missouri. And so we want to get some of you off the fence and make a decision on how you would like to vote on November 8th for your ballot initiative. But one of the things that is they're back and forth about is that one side says, hey, we have automatic expungement, blah, blah, blah. And the other side says, nowhere in the language does it say that. Doesn't say that in the language. Where does it say that? What is it? This is what it says. And it's this, kind of drawn out, jump through hoops a little bit. So I would like to hash that detail out for sure. We do have just an update on that. We have 3 people willing to participate, probably more than that, honestly, on our vote no panel. But we are still having a rough time getting in touch with our vote yes panel. We are working on it, and we still need a couple of moderators. We would prefer from the state of Missouri, but we will pull from outside of the state of Missouri, and then we'll want to work on some questions and make sure that we have good questions to bring to these panelists, because we want you guys to have the information to make an informed decision on that. So, but yeah, that's the question. So this automatic expungement is a great detail, I think. I mean, I wanted to say that. I wanted to say, hey, we're going to review the cases on our own. We're going to automatically review them and expunge those cases that are eligible for expungement.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. How is it, how is it plugged into this? Okay. And being able to create that list and just let not have to make extra work for these families and individuals that have already suffered so much. Get it done.
Yeah. Now, the next one we're going to talk about makes me want to have a debate in Arkansas. It does. It makes me want to be like, do you guys know what you're voting for? Do you guys know? I don't know if we have any Arkansas listeners in the comments right now, but if you are, please let us know you're here and let's talk about this.
I have to remember her name. She went by a nickname and she moved, but she used to work at one of the facilities here that I used to go into, and she moved to Arkansas. And I believe she was going to work for a facility, but that was like it's been a handful of years since,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, her name is slipping my mind, and I'll have to go figure it out. But I've been racking my brain all day since we said Arkansas. Um, but I say, I mean, we could probably maybe even just get in touch with some of the existing facilities
Yeah.
there and
Maybe
start.
some people, some advocates. I don't know about facilities. I'm having a hard time trusting these facilities because they're some of the biggest supporters of these corporate model regulations that are going to
Right,
hurt small businesses and minority communities as well.
right. I guess do some Facebook stalking, go find, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the thing, is like
we'll look for
connecting.
some Arkansas folks and see if we can't connect
Um,
with some people. Now, every article I read failed to mention one important thing. So I'm just gonna start, I'm just gonna read this one article and then we'll go into the other stuff. Okay, the ballot measure in Arkansas is relatively straightforward, but there are several moving pieces attached to it that nearly took the matter off of voters' agenda entirely. Through the state's Board of Election Commissioners, though the state's Board of Election Commissioners had initially blocked the measure to legalize adult use of cannabis from appearing on the ballot in the election, the Supreme Court ruled last month that the measure could not that the measure could move ahead. So it will be on the ballot, even though the election commission tried to pull it off. So that's number one. But I don't know if it should be on the ballot, to be honest with you. So if the initiative is approved by voters, it will allow adults 21 and older to legally possess up to 1 ounce of cannabis. It would implement a 10% sales tax on all sales and require the state's Alcohol Beverage Control Division to develop rules for the business. This is all according to Ballotpedia, which I'll get into in a second. The initiative does not allow for home cultivation. Boo. What kind of adult use program are you running here? And it has no provisions to expunge or seal cannabis-related criminal records. Double boo. So you're going to make money off of this thing and you're not going to let criminals out of jail? Are you kidding me? They're not criminals. You're
they're
the
not
criminal.
criminals. Exactly. So no, and so what all I hear is it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
And it still allows government bodies to prohibit the presence of adult use dispensaries in their jurisdiction.
And we've talked about that before. What happens when you're, when the community next door doesn't permit for it, but they bring it to your community and then take your community's money back out of.
Yep. It happens every
it
time.
happens.
It happens every time. So Arkansas, Initiative 4. This is the thing that they left out. They almost regurgitated this word for word, and they left this whole sentence out, which I think is super fucking important, because I would say this gets me a no vote right here because I am not into this. That's not where I want my money to go. Let me tell you, the measure would legalize marijuana use for individuals 21 years of age and older and authorize the commercial sale of marijuana with sales to be taxed at 10%. Sounds like the same thing I just read. Oh, did you leave this part out? Of the tax revenue, 15%, 15% would be used to fund an annual stipend to all full-time law enforcement officers certified by the Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Training that are in good standing. We're funding law enforcement now with our tax money so we could buy marijuana. So that what the same law enforcement that is punishing people for the crime of selling, purchasing, possessing, consuming marijuana, cannabis, the same law enforcement that is enforcing a law that is no longer valid on these people, on these human beings, and tearing them and ripping them away from their families over this plant that they're about to make money off of. We're going to fund them. We're going to fund them. And then the Republican
pay them. It's a stipend. We're paying them to be certified. And that, you know, shouldn't they just be certified in that anyway?
Shouldn't they just be certified in that anyway? Yes. Yes. Exactly that. Exactly that. And here's the other thing. Where's the rest of this money going? Where did I see that? I saw that did I see that on another page? 15% is the highest percentage of distribution of those tax dollars. So let me find where did I find that? I have it up here. Give me a second.
Happy West Coast 420.
Happy 420. Let me light this up again for the 15th time. Here it is. Arkansas, the state could impose up to a 10% supplemental tax on recreational cannabis sales. Tax revenue would be divided up between law enforcement, 15%, the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, 10%, the state drug court program, 5%. I think y'all got it fucking backwards. First of all, the police, law enforcement should not even be on this list. And that revenue should be split between, yes, the medical sciences for research and development, and also the drug court program or whatever social program that helps people rehabilitate, that helps people get the fuck out of jail. Like, that's where the money should go. Fuck the police. What? Would y'all vote for that? Though, if you're not in Arkansas, would you vote for that? Would you vote for that? In Colorado, if Colorado was like 15% of your tax revenue that you purchase marijuana with is going to a police fund, I'd be like, fuck you, governor. Fuck you. No, sir. I would vote against that with all of my heart.
Yeah. And so this is where people need to pay attention. The headline looks great. Yay, we're voting for cannabis. And they don't care. They see that one question that, that doesn't tell you anything about it. And no one listens to the details necessarily.
Nope.
Not everyone, I guess. I don't want to say no one.
So here's I guess a good thing about it, which I would consider good. People who own less than 5% of the business would no longer be subject to background checks. It's this one little tiny minor thing that doesn't even make a blip on the radar. Except for the fact that you're not going to expunge these records or allow people with a background of a history of being in prison participate in this program while you get rich off of it after you jailed them for it. It's this bullshit. The legislator could not repeal or amend the state's medical marijuana statutes without voter approval. Well, that should be the law. Of course, you should have to approve that. Local governments could hold elections to prohibit adult use retailers in their jurisdictions. So that means that their voters who want legal cannabis, which is probably a majority of them, will have to go somewhere else to get their cannabis. And somewhere else is going to be owned by that rich white guy. And it's going to be in a minority neighborhood. They're going to make their money in that neighborhood. They're going to take their money. They're going to take it back to their neighborhood. So they're going to benefit off of these other, and the community where that dispensary or that cultivation or that extraction or that kitchen is making money, the community will not prosper from that. They will never see any of that. Nope. Individuals can now own stake in more than 18 dispensaries. I want to read more into that. There would be advertising and packaging restrictions, including a requirement that cannabis products must be sold in tamper-resistant packaging. Of course it should. But should it? Anyways, that's an argument for another day. But that's a rule in most states is what I'm trying to say. Dispensaries would be able to cultivate and store up to 100 seedlings instead of 50 as prescribed under the current medical law. So more plants for the business, no plants for the consumer. No, yeah, it's nothing. There's like these tiny little breadcrumbs that are insignificant and don't mean anything at all. And then there's these huge loaves of bread that mean something that they're trying to fucking hide behind. Oh, look, legal cannabis. I wouldn't vote for this. And maybe we should try to get some, I don't know what they call y'all. Arkansonians.
Arkansans.
On the show. Maybe we should get somebody to come on here and talk to us about it that knows a little bit more about what's going on, because to me that sounds like bullshit, and it sounds like they're trying to like coax the voters into voting for something that is just going to benefit the rich as per the usual.
No, that would, I mean, no, Arkansas, no. Just like, this is a no situation. If you are hearing our voices, please reach out
cultivation,
to us and,
no home cultivation, no home cultivation. Give me 3 plants at least, at minimum, like 3 to 6 plants. That's all we like. Honestly,
why do I have to? Yeah, why do I have to go?
First of all, let me grow plants in my backyard like I grow tomatoes in my backyard. Stop it. Just stop it. Like, why is there a limit?
That's why we need to schedule it. You know, that is the thing, though. It's like, this is just.
There's not a limit on how many fucking 12 packs of beer I can buy. There's no.
I don't have to put. That. You don't have to put safety package on a bottle of vodka.
Sure don't. Or can of beer or nothing. You don't have to put none of that shit on none of it. And it is one of the most dangerous drugs, legal drugs on the market. It is one of the most dangerous legal drugs on the market. It causes so many deaths.
Yeah.
We're on here telling you the seriousness of one death and being like, we got to change the way we do stuff. But alcohol, they don't give a shit. Drink responsibly. That's the change that they made.
That's all that, exactly. It's not like they would ever limit how much you could purchase. I mean, they would. The worst you get is the counties that have dry Sundays, or just dry counties where they don't sell alcohol at all. But
blue laws, for those of y'all that don't know what that is.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. We had them in Carolina. I mean, they have them in Carolina. You can't buy alcohol on Sundays.
Yeah, Florida, it was like you couldn't buy alcohol until after a certain time on Sunday. It was really weird.
Makes zero sense.
It was so weird. You know, and here
you can get your beer after church.
Yeah.
But not before then.
Oh,
sorry, I did not mean to make y'all that Southern.
Pretty much. I worked at a grocery store, and there would be certain people lined up for, you know, at,
of course,
the strike of to roll through their bud. So
it's
weird.
Crazy.
Anyway.
And so I don't get this. I can't grow at home, but I can brew beer at home. Like, I get a whole beer brewing kit and brew beer at home. And sometimes I might do it well. I think that you're telling me I can't grow a plant?
It goes back to the money. You know, they want the taxes. They want, you know, they don't want those ancillary businesses to, you know, be able, not that they wouldn't exist, but you know, well, there's no reason to have a grocery store or this service or that because we're not giving you any other options if you aren't in this part.
Right.
On this side of it.
Yeah, that you're right. It does. I didn't even think about that part of it, how it just locks out the grocery stores. It locks out the other ancillary parts of this. Yeah,
but it doesn't, you know, but it sure as heck, you know, puts in your packaging standards and you allow.
Oh, somebody's calling her again. She's in the middle of a thought too. we need to sit down and have an intervention with whoever calls you during the show.
No, that was the 520.
Oh, Because it went back. It went back. Yeah. I was like,
I didn't hit stop on the first time it did it.
Got you.
But I have gotten 5 messages since we've been on. You have one, and one of you, you're tagged in. So.
I love it, y'all. Thanks for being here. Those of you who are here right now, I love y'all. And I love y'all who are going to listen after the show as well on our Spotify channels.
Be like, that was me leaving the message.
Check us out on all of our platforms, solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. You can email us, cannabiscloset420@gmail.com. We're still waiting on an email from some of y'all with some show ideas that you had or that you wanted to be a part of our debate, maybe. So email us, cannabiscloset420@gmail.com. Come hang out with us on Discord. You can find that link in that solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. And you can catch us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We're probably there. We might be there. Go check it out. Look for us. We're having a good time. We're laughing and smoking and talking about garbage stuff and talking about not garbage stuff. Talking about important shit and not important shit.
Cannabis Closet Potcast.
That's us.
We're usually in the Discord in the morning and
we have been.
Like mid-afternoon usually.
Yep.
But
been hanging out there working.
You pop in there, hit out everyone, and see who's available to jump on for a chat. Set your notifications so the same thing happens when we're in there. We'll try to be more verbal about being in there, and if you have time, jump in with us. It doesn't have to. You don't have to say a lot. You don't have.
Sometimes you get some insider information. Today, Nex was just sitting in. Nex literally just sits in the room with us. He barely says anything. He laughs at us when we tell funny jokes, and then he gives us his input when we ask for it. And he really does get the insider information on a lot of the stuff that we're doing before we announce it or before we do it or before it's come to completion. He's kind of a part of the whole team.
Yeah. He's like our support.
Yeah. He's like our support Nex.
Support Nex. I wanted to, we have these little mini headlines, and it doesn't have a lot, doesn't go into the full article, but from the marijuanamoment.net. And I wanted 2 of them kind of coincide with, they all coincide obviously with what we're talking about, but where I got cut off in talking about packaging and industry, the packaging waste, is that there's a little article here about states are under growing pressure, no pun intended, I'm sure, to address the cannabis industry's plastic packaging waste issue.
Yes.
The uptick and they're not getting recycled. They're not getting recycled, people. It's not like there's a contract to recycle. And so we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of plastic drams, those little things that your pill bottles go into. And then we wonder why everything's so expensive, is because it is a one-use bottle when they do that. And so, yeah, that needs to be addressed. And then this is something kind of in the opposite direction of, not opposite direction, but a Department of Veteran Affairs official told a House committee that the government is following psychedelics research very closely.
I saw that one.
With substances like psilocybin and MDMA is not yet part of the standard of care for military veterans. We are barely getting cannabis, as a standard.
Can y'all legalize the green plant? Can y'all do that?
Or all of it together. We know that there are super benefits with some of these, again, and we're not just saying, oh, yay, you're free to do MDA and ketamine and, all the things that, and no, we're talking about being able to do it in a way that it's utilized as a tool along with therapy. Sometimes just therapy and talking isn't all that you need. There are other things that, what is the I don't remember what it's called. It's the eye wrap, the EDMR. Yes. Right? Is that right? Yes.
I do it and I don't know the name of it. So there you go.
And again, so it just, when we're talking about the utilization of other
things than just pharmaceuticals.
I got a question though. Do we trust the government with psychedelics after what they did in the 70s with the LSD projects?
No, but does it, but making them legal and accessible to people that do want to do it, fairly and,
yeah.
or do we?
No, I agree with you. I just we can't trust the government with psychedelics, so that's for damn certain.
I don't think we can trust them with a lot of things, but
that's true. I wouldn't trust them with anything, honestly.
But just to hear the different stories, and again, when you hear different treatments, when people think, the stigma around cannabis. I mean, think about the stigma around, MDMA, psilocybin. Yep. And so normalizing this again as a way for us to heal and,
and giving us a safe space and a safe product to, because, some people do want that idea of knowing that you have a clean and safe product,
I think that,
and that you can prove that on paper. Like, of course, I'm not and that's not to put down any of our gromies or underground cultivators at all. What I'm saying is that there's not always availability to testing those products and giving that extra reassurance where, and that extra bit of transparency.
So does legalizing open that up to where that now a testing facility can be, legitimate testing facility that can be open and thriving, like small cannabis testing facilities that exist?
I would love to see a testing facility be able to take in consumer product, like consumer testing over here, corporate testing or business testing or whatever over here. So like when you're a consumer and then you only have you're on a budget and you're not bringing in, all this, but they charge you a certain amount per test or whatever. And then when you're a business, you pay thousands, millions, whatever for.
Right. And, and offering that to patients, offering that to home growers, offering that to, again, just for safety's sake.
Yeah.
If we're talking about wanting to do things right and really making this a benefit. And then the same with all these other substances that are being opened up to capability, again, changing someone's mind about what, even just my sister, going from no way to maybe this would help me take the next step in my
it would, by the way,
and finding out that information and doing, and unfortunately it's not available yet, even though we're seeing strides in legalization. It's not available in the therapies. They talk about it. There's other ones being used in place of until psilocybin can be approved in that way. But again, we're talking about having testing, is that a thing, is it, and
right. So, well, please legalize cannabis. Let's stop talking about extra schedules and all this shit. Just legalize cannabis, create a safe banking act so we can do our taxes and we can write off product that other businesses would be able to freely write off and not lose money on. I mean, Jesus, it's not difficult. It's really not difficult.
And listen, it's like, why don't they listen to the people in the industry that are doing it? That's where, I mean, I know why they don't. Again, it comes down to money. And lobbying for what? And that's why we have to be more vocal.
Oh my goodness. Any more?
We have a lot to, I mean, we're coming up on.
Do you have any more headlines that are super that we can't check out on Wednesday?
I mean, there's more. Those are just things to know. There's definitely more, but those are,
we can cover them on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But this is a two-parter, so we're going to do a second part. We're actually going to skip over Missouri for Wednesday's conversation and talk about North and South Dakota. And then we might sprinkle in those states that are looking to legislatively legalize. So stay tuned for that. The reason we're skipping over Missouri is because we're going to do a whole thing on Missouri. We're going to do a whole, hopefully it's a debate. And if it's not a debate, then it's going to be an interesting show regardless, is what we're going to do. But I got a couple of would you rathers before we roll out of here. Now, I don't know if y'all have Netflix, but I have Netflix and she has Netflix, and she introduced me to a show that I fucking love. And so I stole the would you rather from this show today because it's gross and disgusting and I loved it. But if you guys enjoyed Big Mouth on Netflix, there's a show called Human Resources, and that show, it revolves around the parts of the human. So the monsters, like what are they called?
The hormone monsters. The worry wasps.
Right. So they got all these different
bugs.
Right. They got all these different characters that are actually like different parts of the human experience. And so all these different characters represent the different parts of the human experience, and they work in the same building. So they go to Human Resources. There's like a ambition gremlin or whatever, or goblin or whatever she is.
Yes, that's it.
And it's really great and I love it. But there's one character there. She's a love bug, and she's a very inexperienced and carefree love bug. And she has a board that she takes a poll on, and she does a would you rather. So what's her name? Ellie? I think her name is Ellie. And this is Ellie's would you rather from Human Resources. So I think I'm getting this right. Would you rather poop out of your eyes or see out of your butthole?
That's a different one than the one I And okay, so see out your butt or poop out your eyes. I would rather see out my butt.
Yeah, I think I would rather see out of my butt too.
Yeah.
What are my eyes doing though? What is up here? What's happening up here if I'm seeing out of my butt? Is up here my butt now?
I know. Yeah, it's exactly right. Does it change the anatomy, or is it both? Is it both? You get to see out of these eyes, but you also get to see out of your butt.
Oh God, I hope it's both. I hope it's both. Like, I see you back there.
Y'all don't want to answer this one today.
Listen.
And so for y'all, Human Resources is like
they just quit the show, all of them. They're like, we're leaving now. They're done. It's Human Resources. It's hilarious. It's like a cartoon for adults. It
is a raunchy version of that the Disney movie about the emotional characters. Inside Out, is that what that was called?
Mm-hmm. You know how you got Apples to Apples, but then you got Cards Against Humanity? It's like that.
It's like that.
If you can see out of your butt, then logically you would poop out of your eyes. Not logically though. I mean, you could maybe see out of your butt and still poop out of your butt. And you could potentially like poop out your eyes and then, wipe it with a makeup wipe and go about your day. I made the motion and everything. I got one to water us down before we leave, but I just wanted to share that one because I laughed so hard when she said it. I would want to see out of my butt. And also, I think it would freak men out if you had an eyeball in your butthole. It's all, and then you would get pink eye. Well, maybe that eye would be not susceptible to pink eye. Maybe there's a different hole, like how men think that we pee out of the same hole that we have sex, and it's not. It isn't. So maybe there's extra. Maybe there's an extra hole.
Maybe is it like your eyes on your
and
butt?
Then you got to be careful about how you wipe, right? Because like women women are taught front to back because you can't be taking bacteria into spaces where bacteria is not meant to be. And so you would have to be, what if it's above? What if it's above? And then you would have to be like, stop, and then wipe a different way.
What if your butt eyes are like on your cheeks or like,
No, it was definitely butthole is what I said.
Okay. I did not hear the butthole part.
Maybe like your butthole just opens and you could see out of it. If
I decided.
Then what are you looking at most of the time? Like the toilet? I don't know. I'm undecided a little bit too about it now that I think about it.
This is a clarification. Like, do I still get to see out of my head eyes? Like,
do I get a third eye?
Is the third eye is the butthole up here? Like, what's going on?
All right.
And on that note,
oh wait, I got one more. This one's a little bit less vulgar. So everybody fan off. It's fine. Would you rather have Beyonce's talent or Jay-Z's business acumen? Would you rather be the talent or would you rather be the business behind the talent? Well, he's not really behind Beyonce, just to be clear, but I'm just saying, like, you know, he's like more of a business mogul and she's more of a talent of the. I already know my answer. I feel like, what do y'all think my answer is? What do y'all think my answer is? This should be interesting. What's your answer, MJ? Would you rather be the talent or the business mogul?
I don't know. Probably the same way I feel. I'm like, I will be the talent, but
well, excuse me, Gemini, I'm gonna need you to make a decision.
Yes.
I would obviously be the talent. I would obviously be the talent with like a fucking attitude problem because you're gonna pay me. I'm gonna get paid. Like Beyonce gets paid. I'll be Beyonce. I mean, I want to be Beyonce, but I would like Beyonce money. I would take Beyonce money for Beyonce talent. I would like to have talent on the level of Beyonce to make Beyonce level money. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I could tour like that. Yeah, like in that terms of stardom. I don't think I could be Beyonce level talent. I would need to like recluse.
I mean, I would definitely need like a hype team.
Yeah. No, even with the I mean, I see again, I'm the hype team. I'm not the
Well, there it is. And that's why we work. There it is.
I gotta be able to run around and do everything. So
and that's true. And it's true. And it's true. And like the other day, I just want to tell this quick story before we go off the air. The other day we were sitting in a meeting and she said we were talking about the roles. Then we're like, we're going to send this all in an email, but we were talking about our roles in the business. And then she said, we have somebody working on the website, but once she has all the stuff in place and then she gives me the blah, 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 then I can take over and I can make the changes. And I was like, no, the fuck she can't. Like, I literally said that at the table. I was like, I literally need somebody else to be on top of that. I need to be able to pay somebody to do that or whatever the case may be, because like literally she takes on all of this like administrative stuff, and she's our art director for all intents and purposes. And so she already has all this stuff on her plate. And then she just went and put this other thing. Like, she was like, I could do that. And I was like, the fuck you can? Like, no, you can't.
No one else is going to do it at this point. I'm like, yes, if I'm going to pay someone, of course I will hand it over. But if it's not getting done because we're not there to pay, then
So I knew that was your answer. I knew that was your answer, because that is your role in our company. That is what you've taken that role and you've run with it. And sometimes I got to be like, give that back to me. That's not for you, that you can't have that. So, yeah, I like this shit. I love this. I would do this. I mean, sometimes I would need a hype team. Like, get the fuck up, put some makeup on, bitch. But at the end of the day, when I get here and then I get this interaction, it changes everything for me. I like it. I love it. So I would definitely be the talent. And then I would get off stage like, where the fuck is my blunt? I'm exhausted. I need a nap. Where's my sparkly water? When I used to travel to teach for another company that I worked for, do not touch that. I'll kick your ass. Go lay down. For another company I work for, they were like, do you have any special requests? And I was like, yes, I need plain club soda at every event. Like, I don't care about lunch. I don't care about anything else. I need to drink water, and this is the water I want. I don't even care about how brand it is. I don't give a shit about your brand. I just want no flavors, water. Bubbles. When I can afford a personal blunt roller, I will hire you. Honestly, you don't have to roll anything. I smoke King Palms. You just have to pack them with good weed.
Pack them with good weed. Speaking of which, bubbly water. Have we done? Did you do a queen?
I did one, but you could show the new cans off. Or that's
this is not a new one. But let me go get it. They're over here.
Real quick, we're gonna get the new can, and then we'll let y'all go enjoy your families.
Right at an hour and a half.
But until then, you're hostage to us.
Yeah, if you're still here, you are getting a preview of the next can.
Next can design.
Okay.
Here it is. This is pretty much it. There might be some minor changes, but not anything major. So here it is. Here's the new can design, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you.
Coming to you. I need like one of those little like stands that
like a what do you call it? A lazy Susan?
Yeah, but with a light or something.
Yeah.
Got our I can't. I'm failing the game. I was gonna try and turn that sideways, but
the letters are bigger. You'll be able to read it a little bit better. So yeah, pop this kitty across the top. It's great. I love it. We got this bubblegum burst. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Look at that. And then of course, we couldn't go out on a sad, mediocre note. So nearly naked.
We're adding the lips.
Yeah, we got some lips on there.
So lips. So
consistency across the designs.
If you saw my my post earlier.
If you had been in the Discord earlier.
Yeah, you would have gotten to see
a preview.
But yeah, that's
what we're doing. Pop this, our CBD line.
That's the next. We're ready to make our next
kiss that kitty. That's right. And, see, y'all get it. Y'all get it.
So we've been busy. We got a lot done this past weekend, and I feel like. And same with the show. We're moving forward. We're getting.
There's no relaxing though, because this week is going to be very much busier. We have a team that we're working with to launch Queen Kitty, and last week was just like the introduction week. So this week, I think that we're going to be implementing a lot of new and different things, and hopefully y'all will see the changes, and hopefully we will see the changes statistically and analytically speaking, and yeah. So that's what we're doing, man. We've been fucking busy, and you can see by those cans why MJ does not need another fucking thing on her plate. I want to give a shout out to I don't know if anybody listens that knows who this person is, but I want to give a shout out to Jake Hirsch. He was one of the digital artists that I worked with originally. He was going to work with us on some Cannabis Closet designs, but he had actually gotten sick when we asked him to do that, and he had to back out of that, and he has recently passed away. So positive, loving thoughts to his family, Jake Hirsch, and may he rest in peace. I hope he's out of that place of pain. And yeah, shout out to you guys for always being here for us, for always joining us at 4:20 Mountain Standard Time and sticking it out with us, even though we say we're going to do a short show and we do a sort of medium length show, but that's okay. We love y'all too. And we love that y'all stick it out with us. We'll be back on Wednesday to talk more about the states that are legalizing via ballot initiative. And so we'll be talking about South Dakota and North Dakota next week. Of course, we'll sprinkle in a little bit of Missouri, but we're holding out on that Amendment 3 debate. So we're working on putting that together and getting some dates and getting, we need 2 moderators that are kind of on the fence, preferably with no bias towards one side or another. We might need some yes participants. I'm working on it. Communication is sometimes difficult. And also Facebook has me on this weird lockdown. They won't tell me what it's about. So it's been fun trying to communicate. So yeah, we're putting that together, and we might be in Missouri for the show. So we might actually be in Missouri to have this conversation. For those of you who do not know, we are actually in Colorado, but Missouri, as a lot of you, most of you know, is kind of second home to us. It's where our manufacturer is. It's where a lot of our friends are. And we just love going out there. So we kind of claimed it as one of our second homes, and we love it out there. And that's why we put a lot of focus on it, but we would really like to put a lot of focus across the nation. So we're going to be working on traveling and doing more with that. So we'll see about it. But that's it. This is our show today. We talked about a lot. We covered a lot. If you guys have any questions about anything we covered, hit us up on one of our platforms and we'll be happy to answer it there, but we'll also bring it to the show to answer it on the show as well. Because if you have that question, somebody else does too. We love you guys. As always, be nice to yourselves. Make sure you put your mask on before assisting others. It's important.
It is. It is. Cultivate love. You deserve it.
Bring it to
you.
And you know, my joint won't stay lit, but I want y'all to stay lifted. Mm-hmm. There it is, just for y'all. Stay lifted. We'll see you on Wednesday to continue this conversation. Have a good week. See you on Hump Day.